Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to integrate Survival Game Kit into another project. So today I'm just using a third person template and this will basically show you how to add Survival Game Kit systems to your own custom character. If you're just starting out, I'd recommend using the Survival Game Kit as your basis, but if not, you can follow this video and it will show you how to get it all set up. So first we're going to go to Settings, Project Settings, then we're going to go to Collision. We're going to create a new object channel. We're going to call this Projectile and set it to Block. We're going to create a new trace channel called Grid and that will be set to Block, and a new one called Weapons, making sure that you spell everything as I do in this video, and hit Accept. Next, in presets, we're going to create a new preset called Projectile, and the collision will be set to Query. It will be set to object type Projectile. Then down here we're going to ignore visibility and camera, and then the rest stays as blocked. Next we're going to create another new one, and we're going to call this Dead Player, and the collision will be set to Query only, and the object type to Pawn. Then we're going to ignore visibility, camera, then we'll ignore pawn, physics body, vehicle, destructible and projectile, and accept that. Next we're just going to edit one of the presets, which is pawn. We'll double click that and we need to make sure that it's ignoring weapons and projectiles, and then we can click accept. Next we're going to exit out the project settings, go settings, plugins, and search for DES, and then we'll enable the Apex destruction. You will need to restart your project now, so just do that quickly. So now I'm back in my project and we're ready to migrate over the Survival Game Kit files. So I'm just going to go over to that now, and we're going to right click the Survival Game Kit folder, hit migrate, hit OK. Then you need to find your projects files, then go to content and just hit select folder. This may take a moment to copy files, so just let it do its thing. Once it's done, it will say that some files weren't copied. You don't need to worry about that. Now we can just go back into our My Project, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to your character blueprint. So for me that's the third person BP blueprints, third person character. So now I'm in my third person character blueprint. We're going to go to class settings and we're going to change the parent class to BP_master character. You can select that, and that will add in all of our master character components. I'm going to delete the follow camera and camera boom because we now are using the Survival Game Kit cameras, and we can compile that quickly. Then I'm going to select our mesh, and I'm going to scroll down and we're going to set the physics material to body. Then we're going to select our ADS socket and we're going to make sure that hidden in-game is ticked. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to select my character movement and I'm going to search for OR, orientate rotation to movement. This needs to be disabled in your character movement, so we're going to untick that. The next thing we need to do is we need to go to our viewport and we need to select our spring arm, and we want to bring this up because this is our first person camera location. You might want to turn off snapping just so we can get it a little bit higher, about there. And now you can compile and save that. Next I'm going to go back to my event graph, and I'm going to delete this code because we don't need it anymore. But obviously if this was your character and you have code that you want to keep, then obviously don't delete that. Something to keep in mind is though that you will need to delete anything with your mouse input or movement inputs, because we're going to paste in a new one, and if there's one existing it will cause some errors. So that's just something to keep in mind. So I'm just going to delete these. Next I'm going to go to our survival character, so that will be in content, Survival Game Kit, blueprint, characters, then survival character, and we're just going to highlight all of this and copy Then we're going to go back to our character and we're going to paste this in. Now we're going to compile, and there will be a few errors that we need to fix. So all we need to do is we can go to server save game, right click it and hit refresh node. Then we're going to click one of these get scroll indexes, and we can right click and hit create variable scroll index. Then we need to find last index, and we can do the same there. And now when we compile, there shouldn't be any errors. So the next part is going to be about the skeleton. If you're using an Unreal skeleton for your character, then you're all good, you can just follow this video. If not, if you have a custom skeleton, you will need to retarget the animations that come with Survival Game Kit. There are plenty of videos on retargeting, so I'm not going to get into that in this video. But I will, if you are using a custom skeleton, I will show you how to add the new sockets to your skeleton so that you'll be able to equip weapons. But I'll do that at the end of the video, so make sure you keep watching for that. For now, if you're using an Unreal skeleton, we can go to that skeleton now. So for me, that will be in our third person meshes. No, not in there. It'll be in our mannequin character mesh, and this is our third person template skeleton. So we need to delete this and replace it with our Survival Game Kit one. So we're going to replace references, and we can find our Survival Game Kit one. You know it's Survival Game Kit because you can look at the path, and we'll select that and hit replace references and hit OK. Once that's done, you want to hit save. So now our third person template character is using our Survival Game Kit skeleton. So now we want to go back to our character blueprint in here, and now we can select our mesh and change the third person anim BP, which is the one that's included with this template, to our Survival Game Kit one, which is third person anim. So we need to do that, and then you just need to go through each one of these components here and do exactly the same thing by selecting third person anim here. So once you've changed all of those to the third person anim animation blueprint, we're going to look at the game mode. Now Survival Game Kit has a game mode that has code in it that needs to run. So if you are using if you have a game mode that you need to use, you will need to go to the game mode, which in Survival Game Kit, that's in the blueprint characters folder, and you will need this code here. You also need to recreate these two variables in your game mode. If you don't need your current game mode, you can just use the Survival Game Kit one, then that's good. We can just go to class defaults and change the default pawn class from survival character to our third person character, or your character name there, and then you can compile that. And then to activate our game mode, we need to go to our project settings and go to maps and modes and change the third person game mode to our Survival Game Kit game mode. So once that's done, there's a couple of other things that you want to keep in mind if you're using a custom level that Survival Game Kit needs. The first thing is the resource manager, which is here, and you're going to need that in your level for the player to be able to harvest any resources. So any level you make sure that that's in there. Also, if you want the save system, you'll need to make sure that the save system, or sorry, the inventory save system is in the level, and then when you select it, you can enable the saving, save time, and load whether or not it should load a save. So that's something to keep in mind with custom levels. So now our level's all set up, there's one more thing that we need to do in our character blueprint. So we're going to head back there now. And once we're in there, we need to select the first person camera, or FP camera, and we need to make sure that auto activate is disabled, and you'll want to compile that as well. Once that's done, we need to change our character in our model viewer. So we need to go into our content, survival game kit, blueprints, other, model viewer, and then open up our model viewer. And in here we can select our skeletal mesh, and we need to make sure that it's using our third person character. So right now it's using the survival game kit one. To change it, you can just click the drop down, and I'm going to choose the skeletal mesh that came with the third person template. And now we can use our new character. Obviously for you this may be a different character. So that's set up now. We can compile and save that. So if you're using the survival, the Unreal skeleton for your character, everything's set up now. You should be all ready to go. And if you're using a custom skeleton, I'll quickly show you where you can find the survival game kit skeleton. So it's in survival game kit, character, mesh, then UE4 mannequin skeleton. And in here you can see we've got 4 sockets that are attached to the hand R. You'll need to recreate these sockets on your skeleton with exactly the same names and also the same relative location and relative rotation to make sure that you can attach weapons and that they go to the hand. You may need to adjust the locations a little bit depending on your character's mesh, but that's where you can find those and what ones you need to copy. So that's pretty much everything, guys. I hope you find this useful. If you have any problems or questions, feel free to leave a comment, and thank you for watching.